Hello, 8th level. I hope you're all doing well today. In Monday's lesson, you learned about how during Reconstruction, after the black people had earned a lot of rights and they really had some positions of power, the white people, especially the wealthy plantation owners and the other powerful white people, really wanted to start taking those things away from the black people. They wanted the power back for themselves. They started really second guessing the fact that they had given all of this power to the black people and decided, oh, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. And we started seeing a lot of backlash and a lot of terror and a lot of bad things happening to the black people. We saw the development of the Ku Klux Klan and just really a lot of bad things happening to the black people as the whites were trying to take the terror back. We're going to kind of go in a different direction today about this time in our history. So the segment that we're working on today is called A Contested History, and this 10 years of Reconstruction is really a difficult time in our history. From 1867 to 1877, it's really a difficult time. I think I told you the story that when I was in school, all I really ever learned about Reconstruction was that it was the time that the South was rebuilt after Sherman went through and destroyed everything. And that's really all my teachers ever talked about. That's really all my history books ever talked about was, oh, let's go rebuild the South after it was destroyed. So when we talk about things like that, that's called the historiography. And historiography is really like it's the way the historians have remembered and written about and interpreted and taught specific historical eras. And the historiography of Reconstruction has been very different as it's been passed down. So when I was in school, all they taught about was that Reconstruction is when the South was rebuilt. But over time, Reconstruction has really changed, but not the full story has been taught except for when you go to organizations like Facing History. So what we're doing right now is a unit on Facing History. So you're getting a different story than you might get if you were just using a standard social studies textbooks, those big, bad, ugly ones. So let's stop and think for a minute. Why would Reconstruction maybe have some different histories? And do you think maybe even in different parts of our country, the story might be told a little bit differently? Do you think in the North it could be told one way and in the South it could be told a different way? And why would something like that happen? Why would it be advantageous to tell it one way in the South and a different way in the North? And do you think that could have changed over time? Do you think maybe the stories now are closer together than they would have been in 1900 or in 1940 or in 1960? And do you think the story today is different than it would have been in 1940 or in 1960 or in 1970? What would have happened between 1960 and 1970 to have changed the story? If we were 50 years in the future, how do you think the story of what's happening to us right now might be told? The last time we were all together was on Friday, March 13th, and we were told we were getting a 3-week kind of extended spring break. I know you had work to do for 2 of those weeks, and then we thought we'd be back in school 3 weeks later, and then we found out, no, we're not going to be, we're going to be in a lockdown situation until April 30th, and then on April 30th it got extended, and we were told we wouldn't be going back to school. How do you think in 50 years from now our story of today is going to be told? Is it going to be told the same way we're living it right now? Or is that story going to be different maybe as we learn more things about the virus that's keeping us at home right now? So different histories can change based on who's telling them or things that happen between now and 50 years from now as we're learning more things about what's going on, or just as different attitudes change. So historiography is just how the historians choose to tell stories as we go along. So here's what you're going to do today. Similar to all of the Facing History lessons that we've done on Reconstruction, you're going to start by watching a Facing History video. You're going to take an exit ticket based on the video, and you're also going to answer some questions. When you're watching the Facing History video, there is a snippet in that video of another video called Birth of a Nation. So let me give you some information on that video. The Birth of a Nation is a video, or it's actually a full-length movie that was made in 1915. The movie is from the point of view of if the freed black people had kept all of their rights, but it is not a positive viewpoint if they had kept all their rights. It's more the viewpoint of the KKK if they had kept all of their rights. So it gives you a little snippet of what a legislature would have looked like if there were 101 black people in the legislature and 23 white people. I have included the 3-minute clip from that movie just for you to see what the temperament of the people during that time would have been. I did not put the whole movie in. It's a silent movie, so you have to kind of interpret what's going on in the movie, but I just wanted you to see a clip of what that movie had. Again, it was made in 1915. It's from the point of view of more like what the KKK would have believed had the black people been able to remain in the legislature, and had they been able to keep all of the rights that they were originally given during the period of Reconstruction. I don't want you to do anything with the movie. I just wanted to provide it to you. Finally, you're going to read a part of Du Bois' reflection on the purpose of history. If you don't want to read it, they also provide it as an audio. It's a little longer than the other readings you've done. It's not terribly long. It's a little longer. The audio is about 4 minutes. So you can either read it or you can listen to it, or you can listen to it and read along with it. That might be the best option. And then when you're done, there are 3 discussion questions to answer after that. So you are going to watch the Facing History video, complete the exit ticket, complete the questions for the video, watch the snippet from The Birth of a Nation. You don't need to do anything with it. I just wanted you to see that snippet of The Birth of a Nation. Then you're going to read Du Bois' reflection on the purpose of history and just answer those 3 questions. I'm also going to just, at the end of this, have a picture of another book. I've been reading daily reflections from a historian that's been in a lot of these videos. Her name is Heather Cox Richardson. She teaches at Boston College, and she just published a book. I haven't read it yet, but it's about how the South won the Civil War. I'm really interested to read this book. I've done a lot of her daily readings that she's been doing about what's going on during COVID. So I'm just going to put a picture of the book at the end of this video to pique your interest. Again, if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, I will see you Monday at our live Zoom classes. Have a great weekend.